Hey, what's up YouTube? I decided to go ahead and show you guys a video on how to do this checkmate from start to finish, but I'm not going to go into detail on how to do the pattern at the end since I already did that in the other video. This video's gonna just go into more detail on how to get their king to the edge and then into the corner. I started off here with my pieces about as far apart from his as they could be, and because of that, it shouldn't take more moves than it took me to do this if you do it the right way. Um, I started off by bringing my king to the middle to try to get control of it, and he was there first, so he's got a little bit more. I probably should have moved my bishop to this square because my knight's already covering this green square, and then my bishop would be covering this diagonal, so he'd be forced back. But instead, I went to the right, which means I have to use my knight to push him off the white square because he's going to go back and forth. He's pushed back, and I can move my king to the middle to get control. Now right here, he can either jump back to the third row from this edge or the second row from this edge. But because my bishop's green, he's going to try to want to stay away from these corners as long as possible. So he's probably going to come out to this white square or this white square. And he also wants to stay away from the edge because the longer you can do that, the more likely it is to be a stalemate. So he chooses this edge, and I set up for this because I have to bring my bishop up a little bit to be able to have any sort of control. And right here, I'm letting him choose which edge he wants to run to. He can go ahead and jump back to here, in which case I'll push my king over, or he can jump back to right here, in which case I'll move my king behind my bishop and he'll be forced back. So he chooses to get forced back, and take a look at my knight real quick. My knight's in a fantastic position right now. He's covering all the squares my bishop can't cover. He's covering the edge white square, this white square, and this white square. So the only way his king can escape on the left side is gonna be to come out on one of these two green squares. But because my bishop's green, I should be able to easily cover those squares, so I'm not concerned, which means I can use my king to cover his retreat. So I move to the right to do that. And he's going to try to escape now, so I block that with my bishop. And he's just going to try to stay away from the corner as long as possible, any way you can do that. So I use a waiting move till he gets off the green square, and I push my bishop forward, and he's going to attack. And I use another waiting move. Well, I guess I defend. Now I use a waiting move, and he's forced back, and I can push my king forward again. And he just doesn't want to go in that corner still, so he's going to fight it as long as he can. He doesn't want to go to the edge either, so he's going to move to the middle, and I move my king behind to force him back. And he can't move down. My knight's still covering this spot. So right here, he's forced to go up. He could try to run out, but again, that's on the edge, and it's easy to cover. So I again push my bishop in front and force him to the edge. And at this point, he's trapped in the corner. My king's covering these three squares, and my bishop's covering his escape. So I can go ahead and bring my knight over to set up for the pattern. There's check, and now my knight's exactly where it needs to be. But he's blocking my bishop, so it gives him an opportunity to escape. So I have to block that, and then he goes back to where he needs to be. And now the pattern's set up, and that's game over right there. Just gotta follow the formula basically until he's all the way in the corner, and checkmate. It took me 47 moves to do. Like I said, with most games, your pieces are going to be a lot closer, or you're already going to have control of some spot in the board and be able to force them easier, so it shouldn't take even this long to do. If you enjoyed this, if it was informative, please drop a like, and I'll try to keep providing more videos for you guys. Thanks.